Howdy folks, Dave Man here again, Rollman Revolution. Now, I didn't do an initial post-Trump assassination video simply because the day that I was watching that, and I watched it live, some people, I didn't have a chance to catch it when it first came out live, but if you had an opportunity to see it when it was, live on the television screen, it's so overwhelming. Very similar to the way 9/11 happened, where you see a plane and one thing happened after another, and then there's all this havoc going on around there. But what I have noticed to do, and I suggest everyone do the same exact thing here, and I do apologize if you hear fans in the background. I live in Florida. I have a small studio outside in my garage. It's 100 degrees out here, so unfortunately you're going to hear wind from time to time. I do apologize. I'm working on trying to get that thing solved. But the reason why I didn't record it right out the gate is that when you slow video down, and this is what I highly encourage people to do, slow the video down of all of the angles that you possibly can, ascertain from either TikTok or whatever the media has been able to, piece together. It's not what's happening in the foreground that matters. It's what you see happening in the background. The way people normally react under certain conditions, okay? And then what you need to look for in those situations is the people that are reacting differently under those circumstances, because under a case where people are shooting at you, most people are ducking down, trying to get the heck out of the way because they're trying to figure out where the shooting's coming from so that they can go in the direction opposite from where that activity is going on. But if you notice in the background during the whole thing with Trump, you'll see the snipers on the rooftops behind him. And based upon my ears and the way that I kind of see things, and I'm no expert involved in this, but you can count and you can see and you can get a generalized idea of the landscape if you take some pictures offline and look at the topographical analysis of the area where he was at. It makes zero sense. Zero, and I don't care. I don't have to be a securities expert. I don't have to be a Secret Service agent. I don't have to be a Navy SEAL to figure out that whoever was in charge of this not only shit the bed, but put the president or the former president of America's life in danger by saying that, I don't have to cover that area because it's outside the perimeter of our zones or whatever it is. It's an elevated position. There were only 3 buildings in the area, and you're going to tell me that we're not going to secure that one, the one that's direct line of sight to the president. This is what the media is feeding. And now the stories are starting to come out now where you'll see, Trump's would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks, wrote a chilling, thing that says that he's going to go after him. Part of me believes, okay, that this kid was a patsy. I'm not saying that he didn't pull the trigger. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that there are bigger names and bigger hands obviously involved in this. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to do something like that to that amplitude, you have to be very well prepared. You have to be able to know how to evade security and to sneak in and to go undetected, blend in with the crowd, be an unnoticeable person. But this kid, apparently, according to eyewitnesses, stood out like a turd in a fucking punch bowl. Literally bringing a ladder, climbing up the wall, slowly doing the crawl. And everybody standing around picking their ass, trying to figure out what's going on. Now I can understand why. If I was personally President Donald Trump, I would want an entirely new security detail for which I get to pick. Because if people are protecting me, I want to know the people that are protecting me know what the fuck they're doing. Just go watch the videos again. Watch the Secret Service agent by the van when they're pushing the president down the stairway and they try to get him into the car or whatever. Watch the one female take her gun. Now, first off, I don't know if you ever fired a gun before, and if you've never fired a gun, everybody who has been using a gun for any period of time gets comfortable with its positioning, how to move it, how to cock it, how to grab at it, how to do all of the things you need to do to it to access it or to put it away when necessary. This person couldn't figure out how to operate whatever was going on here. And if you look at the whole Secret Service team, they didn't look like they knew what they were doing. They looked like they were just assembled that afternoon. Just standing around the car. You look this way, you look that way, you run this way. I don't know, one person's running that way, one person's running. It looked like the Keystone Cops is what it looked like. And I'm asking myself, is this real? Is this really going on here? I mean, because look, there's so many people on the conservative right have been bitching and complaining that, oh yeah, the next thing that these people are going to do is to try to take out the President of the United States. And they did it. They did it in broad daylight in front of thousands of people on live air, hoping that it was another a Kennedy ooh and ah. I mean, you think about that. We're talking about millimeters here, inches. I mean, people keep joking about this as if, oh, it was all set up and it was all real. I'm not saying that the whole Crooks thing and the story and the backstory and the Secret Service involved, I'm not saying that all wasn't all fixed. That there was somebody there, set up, made, and allowed this to go on purpose behind the scenes because all of our agencies are corrupt. And if they want to get somebody, they can get somebody, even our own Secret Service. I'm not saying that whole institution is corrupt and there's something else going on there. But I don't think that this was a set up game by the president to try to score political points or to try to gain more numbers in the poll. And people who are pushing that narrative, I think, are completely fucking stupid because there are enough people on the ground, just common day folks, that saw what went on there. So to say that it was fake and it was staged and it was all this other stuff and that Trump had a part in that, I don't think people are going to take 22s by the side of the face as a publicity stunt. So the people that are talking that nonsense need to fucking shut their pie hole because that makes you look stupid. Okay, you need to understand that not everything's a conspiracy and not everyone is involved in every conspiracy. I'm not saying conspiracies don't happen because God knows I've gone down 1,000 rabbit holes to discover what conspiracies truly are, but you got to start to dial it back a little bit every once in a while and start to readdress and reassess what you really know about everything. Because it's so easy to go down any rabbit hole or another and just assume the worst and it's all fake and everything is this. Look, I did it. And then I had somebody try to explain it to me like, Dave, you're getting too dialed up into it. You need to back it off a little bit. Take yourself off the gas and just kind of start to look at things in slow motion. Look at things from a more Overwatch perspective. There's a guy out there. Anyway, but the point being is that's exactly how you have to do this when you look at these scenarios. Is Trump innocent in every publicity stunt on the world? How the hell should I know? But in this case, because a lot of people are talking about it, and all over TikTok, that this was 3 different camps. He set it up. It's all for publicity. It was an accident, an assassination, and then there's this big thing where it's just this huge fiasco where the Secret Service failed, just like they did on so many other things, because we're dealing with a Biden Justice Department. Just look at the cast of characters right now who are running our system of government. Alejandro Mayorkas and Merrick Garland. Now look, Merrick Garland tried to get himself on the Supreme Court, and thank God, guys like Steve Bannon and Mark Pioletta and several other people who were working behind the scenes ensured that never happened. Because just think about what Merrick Garland right now is doing to President Trump and so many of the other people that are associated to him, putting him in jail, trumping them up on bullcrap charges. I mean, just think about what this man was doing. Now you add that guy to the Supreme Court of the United States on a lifelong appointment. The Democrats are so good at sabotage. They're so good at selling people a line of this, look how beautiful everything is and look how wonderful it is. And don't you think this? They set you up in a way where you have no choice but to say, yeah, I agree with you, but that's not what they're really saying. This whole system is this big, huge joke. But the one thing that you can pretty much guarantee now, because of what has happened to President Trump in this assassination, they pulled away from pulling Joe Biden off the ticket now because they lost the news cycle. And the one thing that this whole stupid situation did was it destroyed the media's news cycle. I mean, they can't now talk about Kamala and Joe Biden not being fit and all this other stuff because, yeah, what are you going to do there? First off, nobody has legitimacy unless Biden touts out himself and Kamala says, yeah, I'm stupid and I'm not smart enough to run the country. Here are the keys, which she ain't going to do because arrogant people don't do things like that. They're all looking for political survival. They're all trying to hang on to whatever little bit of power they still have left. But no, there is obviously a coup, a major coup going on in our institutions. And if that rot doesn't go away, well, you can guarantee that the life that you currently have, which is pretty miserable because most people are living paycheck to paycheck right now, but I can guarantee it's going to get a whole lot worse than that. A whole lot worse if you continue on with the way things are under this administration, which is why this new millennial young Gen Z generation are starting to see the bullshit at play. Think about this. They were growing up, Afghanistan, and this whole debacle post 9/11 was going on. What they were not aware of is what the stuff that maybe you and I are aware of, that whole 9/11 thing was horse shit, much like the Israeli and the Ukrainian war. All these wars, these endless wars, are all designed to pull money from the American people, and they give it away. They just give it away to people, and you don't know about it. You pay for it, but you don't know where that money goes. And then you're supposed to sit at home here and just be a good little citizen. Shut the hell up while they elect the people they want into office, while you just sit there and deal with it. Look, we're way past the point of right and wrong, this or that, okay? Nobody, no industry, no party, no individual, no group has ever gone full force against a political candidate as they have with Donald J. Trump. Now, what should that say to every American voter out there? Why is every group who's rich and has standing to lose something in this next election, if Donald Trump loses, why are they going after him? I wonder why all of these businesses and all of the Democrats and all of the rhino establishment Republicans who have had the status quo going on in that community for decades now, I wonder why they would be upset if Donald Trump got back in office again. Could be because they would lose all of their connections, all of the money, all of the blowback, all of the golden parachutes to the agencies and the special interest and the charity funds and all of their NGOs that they've been donating to and living a lavish lifestyle of the American taxpayer. That all goes away because what Donald Trump did was surround himself. Now, this time, he's going to surround himself with people that see his vision and know how to clean the cesspool up. Because the only way our country is going to get better is if you start reinvesting in the people that made it great in the first place. And he's the only person out there that recognized that, which is why the American people have his back. Look, I've said this on this program and in my commentary for the last 20 years. A team is not a group of people who work together. A team is a group of people who trust each other. But it's all based upon you have to trust me, I have to trust you. I have to put faith in the people that made the team great in the first place. Donald Trump recognized the only way this country has ever been great is the hard-working ass American people. You bring the jobs back here, you bring the wealth back here, you bring the technology back here, and Americans will make it better, and we'll make it cheaper, you'll have a better life, I'll have a better life, because we'll divvy the money up a little more equally. The rich fat cats who are getting slave labor overseas won't be able to do that anymore. They'll have to pay a living wage. Yeah, everybody may not be making billions of dollars anymore, but a few $100 million is a good life. I don't know where we got so far away from the point where the guy at the bottom has got to be scraping by, working 2 jobs just to basically make ends meet. Well, Hunter Biden and all the rich cats up at the top get to walk around breaking all the laws, stealing all the money, and spending it on whatever the hell they want to, while everybody else is suffering. Now, I think that disparity and that whole thing is gone. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what you identify as, because that nonsense isn't going to matter in a country that doesn't give a shit about who you are, and what you're about, where you're going, all of it. Right now, what's on the table is a reality check that every American has to ask themselves. This isn't my election, this isn't your election, this is the election of the America and what direction the America is going to go. That's it. And if you don't see that yet, if you think this is just another pie in the sky bullshit election that doesn't matter and doesn't mean anything, well, fine. Just step aside. Don't get in the way and don't start making your commentary about it, because again, I don't like people who basically have checked out, have basically gone off the reservation and say, you're full of shit. But then when you have to ask them a question about it, well, see, that's because you don't know this and you don't. Look, I've gone down as many rabbit holes as just about everybody else out there who's been in the conspiracy realm. I've heard everything. I've heard the back and talk so many different times. You know, there are people out there that are still saying that Trump and Biden are both clones because of pictures. Well, pictures are edited and manipulated all the time. That is not evidence of shit. Okay, I'm not saying that Biden hasn't had a body double and Trump hasn't. They all have doppelgangers. They all have to have people that show up that confuse certain situations. That's been known for a long time. But to the level I think people are going to, I think is a little ridiculous. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. I'm just saying that it's pretty unlikely. And from what it is I know from the people that I know, and I'm not talking about just your every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Some people that are really well connected to that side are saying a lot of different things. So I want people to build a trust with this channel and know that the only reason, the only thing I would ever give to you is something that is valuable, something that you could benefit from, or something that you can verify yourself. If it's an opinion, I'll tell you it's an opinion. But if you slow video down, and let me go back to what I was originally talking about. If you slow video down, and you slow that assassination attempt down, look at all of the people, look at all of the angles, and then paint the picture for yourself, you're going to get a better understanding of kind of what went on that day. Yeah, crooks may have pulled the trigger, but there were bigger heads who were making decisions on there. There were radio communications that day, I bet you, that knew this kid was climbing up that knew this kid was getting into position. And they were telling Secret Service at one point, I bet you, to hold off for a second, because they were waiting for that kid to get off a couple shots in the hopes. Trump just happened to be a providential figure that you're not going to be able to do that to. It's obvious now. You tried everything, up and into taking him out, and you lost. And now we're going to come for you. We're going to expose all of you. But this time, we don't miss. You keep missing because the law isn't on your side. The law is on our side. The facts are on our side. And the entire American people, the ones that have woken up and recognized the nonsense, well, they're uniting. And they're on Trump's side. So what do you got, Deep State? What do you got? You got nothing but a bunch of liars and puppets that you've been spinning around Washington, D.C. forever. Let me ask you this. Is there any trust amongst liars, thieves, and manipulators? No, there isn't. Which is why the Democrat Party right now is turning on each other from within. If you're starting to notice, I made a video several months back about, I said, watch how the Democrat Party and people that you've known for years begin to turn on each other, throw other people under the bus, jump the party, maybe just escape entirely or disappear. There's a lot of money involved in this whole thing, and all of this stuff is usually centered around money. The bottom line, what happened on that Saturday for Trump is unheard of, should never have happened, and in my opinion, was planned out, executed, but like all things, Joe Biden and this administration, they fucking suck at everything they do. Absolutely suck at everything they do. Mayorkas is a failure. Garland is a failure. Kamala Harris, Jesus, how that woman, I don't understand how these people can graduate law school. You say that, you're telling me that she's educated enough to graduate law school? Give me a break. The only way she got through law school is bottom line, because she doesn't know what the hell she is talking about. And Joe Biden, well, he checked out of that meat suit a long time ago. In 2019, I called it and said, look, you can tell when a person is suffering from Parkinson's and cognitive, just by the way that they shuffle and they move, the way their brain reacts. It's body language 101. And anybody who studies body language, who studies people in their regular atmosphere versus what they are when they've changed, well, you can pick it up pretty damn quickly. But the media lied to the American people for years. And then all of a sudden, what, a couple weekends ago, they told you, yeah, it's obviously he's in decline. They think you're stupid. They keep playing you as if you're stupid because you don't pay attention to the news on a regular basis. What? You don't have the time, right? You're working 2 jobs or you're so damn busy. So they spoon feed you their bullshit and hoping that you're going to catch a piece here or a clip there and you're going to believe it's true. All I'm asking people to do from now until November 5th is, if you really don't know, just go back and listen to some of the things that the media said Trump had said, then go find the context for which it was said. And you'll be quite surprised to find out that what they are saying he actually said is complete and utter bullshit. And then, if they're willing to lie about the little things, it's the big things that you gotta be concerned about. And look at CNN, MSNBC, and all of them. They were wrong on everything. This president has endured a spying on his campaign, a full investigation saying that he was linked to Russia, the Steele dossier, 2 fake impeachments, 5 bullshit court cases over lawfare and nonsense, and an assassination attempt. And yet he's still running for office. For you. And people are still spitting on this man and telling him he's a fake and he's a this and he's that. Fuck you. Fuck you is what I have to say to that. Because any bimbo with blue hair and a nose ring on TikTok is going to say, oh, I can't believe that the shooter missed. Yeah, say that to my face. Say that to any American's face. You think it's okay to go around shooting people that you disagree with? You need an attitude adjustment is what you need. A big old smack across the head. Anybody who thinks like that. This is America, Jack. We don't do that here. And if that's what the world you want to live in, then we'll send you over to Iran and over to Iraq, over to the Middle East. Maybe they can slap you around. Maybe they can throw some gays and homosexuals and trans people off the frickin' buildings when they don't like it, because they just don't like you. See, here in America, we put up a lot of bullshit, but that bullshit I ain't putting up with. I ain't gonna listen to somebody say it's okay. It's okay to kill somebody that you disagree with. Now you can say it, but we're gonna murder you all over the social media type. I probably shouldn't have used that word, but I'm using that in the broadest sense, a figure of speech. But this whole thing has gotten so far out of hand that now they're switching gears and saying, well, we're going to do a victory, we got to come together. The media says, oh, this is going to bring us, we all got to come together now. No, how about this? How about we win in November? We put our foot to the floor right now. We get involved in our local communities and make sure, because the assassination attempt was just one more thing. We still got 3 months plus. You don't think the nonsense is going to get even more ridiculous between now and then? I can guarantee you it will. That's why you have to pay attention. You got to be ahead of the curve before they put out their nonsense, because they're working on it right now. Just like I told you with the whole Crooks thing. You're going to start to see more stories come out and try to, yeah, he was a loner, he was a weirdo, he was a this, he was a that. And they're trying to isolate it to one person so that you stop digging. It was one crazy kid that just went off the chain and decided to fire at a president. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. And then you go look at the Secret Service agents that are running off the stage with them. They're all smiling. They're all having a good time. All having a good time. Pictures of them all looking at the camera having a good time while the guy's down there getting shot. The only one that looks like he's in the moment is Trump. Everybody else is just having a good time. And there's 3 females up there too. Since when is that a big thing? I mean, I'm not against people who have the same ability, but this DEI shit is stupid. It's really stupid. And if I was president of the United States, I would say, I'm not taking that detail. I want the detail with the big 6'3", 250-pound strong men. Okay? Because the level at which people are trying to go after Trump, you need the biggest bodies, the quickest minds, the fastest. We don't need the DEI inclusion across the Secret Service. That's not where we utilize that kind of bullshit. But as you can tell, everything about this Biden administration is a complete and utter failure from the top down. Every one of the secretaries in there are a bunch of crooks, a bunch of cowards, criminals. The only way we're going to get out of this is if you and I stop arguing with each other and start recognizing things for what they are. The unification comes between the American people and the American people. Forget about the party shit. That's gone and over with. If you still think parties matter, you're silly. I said that multiple times on this channel, as you well know, but there's still people out there that are caught up in the crux of that. You can't be. The unification comes with putting this country first, the families of this country first, the states and the communities of this country first. It's all of that versus that shit. It's all of us versus them. It's MAGA, Make America Great, versus everyone else. So you figure out what side of the football you're on. Pick a side and stick with it. Because again, this is going to be a really rough 3 months, and it's going to require every person who loves this country to get involved. It's not going to stop. We will not lose as long as you don't stop moving forward. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. President Trump has taken enough bullets and enough bullshit for American people. He doesn't deserve what he has gotten. And I don't believe he deserves to have one more thing thrown in his direction. He's done enough. It's now up to you and to me to stand in the breach and take the shot for him. Let's do this. Get out there. Get involved. I hope to see you soon. Take care.